In the 51st minute of a football match in Mexico City, a man 5 foot 5 inches tall jumped higher than a goalkeeper a full 8 inches taller than him, and the world is still arguing about what happened next. This is the story of the most famous handball in history. This is the hand of God. Gundi 22nd, 1986, the quarterfinal of the World Cup, Argentina versus England, and this was never just a football match. 4 years earlier, the two nations had fought a real war over a cluster of islands in the South Atlantic called the Falklands. Argentina lost that war. For a country still nursing that wound, this match carried a weight far heavier than 3 points and a place in the semifinals. The first 45 minutes gave nothing away. Two disciplined teams, two goalless, but Diego Maradona, Argentina's captain, already the best player on the planet at just 25 years old, was circling, waiting for an opening. England's defense knew the danger. They just didn't know it would come from his hand. 6 minutes into the second half, England's Steve Hodge tries to clear a long ball, but he missqueezes it and the ball loops backward, straight toward his own goal. Both Maradona and English goalkeeper Peter Shilton rise to meet it. Shilton has every advantage, 6 inches taller, the goalkeeper's right to claim the ball with his hands. He should win this contest easily. 8 doesn't. In a fraction of a second, Maradona raises his fist and punches the ball over Shilton's outstretched hands and into the net. Shilton spins around in fury. English players swarm the referee, screaming for a handball. But Tunisian referee Ali bin Nasser has no angle on the play, and his linesman, Bulgaria's Bogdan Dochev, doesn't raise his flag either. The goal stands. Argentina leads 1-0. Millions watching on television can already see in slow motion replays exactly what the officials on the pitch could not. Then something almost impossible happens. Just 4 minutes after the controversy, Maradona picks up the ball near the halfway line, deep in his own half, and starts running. He beats one England player, then another, 5 English players in total, weaving past each one as if they're standing still, before rounding Shilton himself and slotting the ball into the net. It will be remembered forever as the goal of the century. The same player, the same match, 4 minutes apart. One goal built on deception, the other on pure genius. England doesn't fold. Gary Lineker pulls one back in the 81st minute, and for a tense final stretch, an equalizer feels possible. But Argentina holds on. Final score 2-1. Argentina advances. England goes home, knowing they were beaten in part by a goal that never should have counted. After the match, a reporter asks Maradona directly, "Did you handle the ball?" His answer becomes one of the most quoted lines in football history. "A little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God." It is not quite a confession. It is not quite a denial. It is theater, and it gives the goal its permanent name. For Argentina, this victory meant more than a place in the semifinals. Coming so soon after the Falklands War, beating England felt, to many, like a small act of national vindication, a feeling Maradona himself later leaned into, framing the win in those terms. The line between sport and politics, on that afternoon in Mexico City, simply disappeared. For almost 2 decades, Maradona let the mystery linger. Then, in 2005, on Argentine television, he finally admitted what the replays had already proven. He said no teammate wanted to celebrate with him after the goal, so he told them to hug him anyway, before the referee could change his mind. It was the hand of Diego, he finally said. Nearly 40 years on, the hand of God hasn't faded. It's grown. It's taught in football history, replayed in documentaries, debated by people who weren't even born in 1986, because it captures something true about Maradona himself. Brilliant and flawed, a cheat and a genius, often in the very same breath. That contradiction is exactly why the world still can't look away. Back to 1986 and the World Cup. Maradona didn't stop in the quarterfinals. He carried Argentina all the way to the final, and a week later, in that same Azteca Stadium, lifted the World Cup itself, beating West Germany 3-2. He was named the tournament's best player. For Argentina, he wasn't just a controversial genius anymore. He was a world champion. 36 years passed before Argentina lifted that trophy again. Maradona didn't live to see it. He passed away in November 2020. But 2 years later, another Argentine wearing the number 10 finally got there. Lionel Messi, lifting the World Cup in Qatar after beating France on penalties. Messi later wrote that Diego had been watching over them, encouraging them from heaven. Two number 10s, 36 years apart. The same flag, the same dream, finally, the same trophy. Long before Messi became a household name, Maradona had already picked him out. In 2006, when Messi was just 18, Maradona declared him the one destined to inherit his place in Argentine football. 4 years later, that became literal. Maradona, now Argentina's head coach, built his 2010 World Cup squad around the 22-year-old Messi. Their relationship was never simple. Maradona could be Messi's biggest defender one year and his sharpest critic the next, questioning his leadership and his fire in the Argentina shirt even as Messi kept breaking records. Messi never fired back. Asked again and again to compare himself to Maradona, he gave some version of the same answer every time, that there was only one greatest of all time, and it wasn't him. In November 2020, Maradona died. Days later, playing for Barcelona, Messi scored a goal and lifted his jersey to reveal another shirt underneath, the colors of Newell's Old Boys, the small Argentine club Maradona had supported since he was a boy, with the number 10 on the back. No words, just the shirt, held up to the sky. In the end, that's perhaps the truest tribute of all. Long after the controversy faded into folklore, what's left isn't the handball, or the rivalry, or even the player who came after him. It's Diego Maradona himself, a man who could win a World Cup with one fist and his entire heart in the same year, contradictions and all, and still be remembered, decades later, as the closest thing football has ever had to a god. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this piece of football history, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Enjoy the World Cup.